The main thing that flame retardants do is they delay the time to flashover. Without flame retardants, flashover occurs in 3 minutes or less. And if you're trapped into an airplane or you're trapped in a house and you only have 3 minutes now to escape, the purpose of flame retardants is that it delays that. You can now have up to 10, 15 minutes to get out. And having that extra time to egress is a matter of life and death with it. There have been decades of research on this, and many of the researchers are not part of industry. They're in academia, they're in government labs. The work that has been going on at NIST has been very beneficial in showing how flame retardants can actually help.
I and my students burn things in the lab every day, and things that have our flame retardant coating on it don't burn, and things that don't have a flame retardant coating do burn very vigorously, and black billowy smoke will come off of foam or fabric, and so yeah, there's no question that they work.
There's plenty of evidence that they do work. I mean, I just completed a couple of studies that were published earlier this year looking at how flame retardants, when you put the right amount and the right type of flame retardants with the right substrate, they make a massive difference in terms of heat release, and heat release is the principal property in a fire. We also know that there was a study, and there have been many other studies, but a particular study at the National Bureau of Standards showing that when you compare flame retardant products with non-flame retardant products, you give a very significant additional time for escape and rescue by the victims in a fire. And that's very important, because the key thing in a fire, number one, is to decrease the amount of heat that is released, because that's what kills people. And number two, give the people who are in there the opportunity to escape or be rescued.
Flame retardants do work, and I can give you a couple of simple examples. Recently there was a Air France flight that crashed off the runway in Paris. 353 people aboard. The plane was completely destroyed by fire, but all 353 passengers were able to get off unhurt. And the reason was that the flame retardant, and the interior of the plane is heavily flame retarded, but it gave time for escape. Another recent example was a school bus near Raleigh, North Carolina, 64 students aboard. There was a fire in the engine compartment which quickly spread to the interior. All 64 people escaped through the rear hatch, and no one was injured, even though the bus was totally destroyed. It's well documented for a long time that flame retardants do two things. The main thing they do is delay ignition, and so that gives you escape time, and that's, in many cases, that's very important. And the other thing is they retired the flame spread so that it might not be as severe.
Fire retardants save lives. In this day and age, we have moved from using rocks and metal to using a lot of plastics, and plastics are inherently flammable, and we have to protect them. If we don't protect them, if we have a fire, and sure, the incidence of a fire is going to be small, but if we don't protect them and there's a fire, you're going to have a problem. You're probably going to die from the fire, because there's going to be a lot of smoke and a lot of heat liberated. Fire retardants can prevent that, so they save lives.
Let's assume we are removing all flame retardants from everywhere. So starting from tomorrow, no building is protected anymore. If something happens, we are going to lose a lot of lives.